Hello and welcome to this episode of Demystified as we explore home cooking in a modern world. Hello, I'm Linda and I'm here with my friend Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Linda.
Welcome to another Friday from the kitchen. It's Friday. Yay!
Yay.
It's been another interesting week in lockdown, social distancing, but you've been cooking and it has been very nice, I must say.
Yeah, a few things. Got a few things out this week. Got to the market. It was actually good going after Easter when there was no one there. So that was good. Got to the market, bought a few things. Did a few different things. Did some steam, did some combi cooking. Did a tutorial on Polenta. I don't know why. I just decided that that's what I wanted to do. Because I think, as I say in the tutorial, it's one of the most delicious things if it's done right. And it's not difficult, but it can be time consuming. So, a bit of a hack is using your steam oven right through the cooking process. So, you start it off traditionally, but then you throw it in the steam oven rather than stand there and stir it like you would a risotto. So, yes, I wanted to do that, so that's why I did it.
Well, you may be a little bit psychic there, Paul, because I was lucky enough to take home some of your leftovers from the lamb ragu and polenta that you made. And it was fantastic. And Dougie was so excited. It was great. And we had some leftover polenta, and I know on the night you said, how much water to put in the pot, and I think I doubled it after thinking, no, that couldn't be enough. Well, it was then a little bit runny, but still very, very tasty. So it was fantastic. But I was going to ask you, I deliberately kept a little bit aside so that we could try to make maybe chips with it or cook it up in a different way, because I'd seen people do that. But ours was a kind of mess. In the fry pan, it just kind of merged into one. The little cuts that I made all merged into one, and it was very tasty. It was very nice. The polenta and the cheese kind of went a little bit brown, which is very, very tasty. But what did we do wrong?
So what you're saying is it looked like a dog's breakfast.
It did. And we started off with such great promise because you'd made it.
Yes, what you did wrong was you didn't wait for the video to come out before you actually attempted to do anything, even though I gave you a bunch of leftover polenta. So, in the video, if you watch it, and I suggest, Linda...
Have you actually done it? Is it ready to go up? Okay.
So, I talk about ratios of liquid to polenta itself, and the different ratios that you want depending on what end result you want. So for what I wanted for that dish was something that was sort of pourable, that didn't set up too hard on purpose. Now, if I wanted to create chips out of it, I would have changed the liquid to polenta ratio and made it firmer, and let it set in the fridge, and then chopped it. And at that stage, if you make it firmer, you don't actually need to add anything. So your only saviour could have been maybe giving it a quick dredge in flour. But I still don't think it would have worked, because it was probably just the right consistency when I gave it to you, and by the time it sat in the fridge and set, and then when you got home, I told you to add a little bit of water, and then you added more. It was never going to happen. It was never, ever going to happen.
It was really tasty, but it was a little bit runny.
Yeah.
Compared to what I tasted when you gave it to me after taking the photos.
Yeah.
It was different, but very tasty still. It doesn't seem to matter, really, how runny it was or how soft.
I know, but you were after trying to fry.
Well, that was, last
fry
night.
It into chips.
The first night we had it...
bits.
Was just fantastic, but...
Yeah, it wasn't the right ratio for you to...
No.
Attempt to do that originally, so it was never going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say that to Dougie when I get home tonight. That it was never going to happen, Dougie.
Well,
we started off with the wrong polenta to ratio to
liquid
ratio.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, there you go. That answers my question. But I didn't know you were doing a polenta video.
Yeah, I didn't know until I did it, because I wanted to do. It's one of those things that I just like. I will sit and have a bowl of polenta for dinner. I love it, like properly love it. I'm not suggesting that anyone should do that all the time, but it's.
Well, I'm guessing there's a few packets out there in people's pantries after the.
Well, quite possibly, and it can be like
heady days of shopping.
Yeah, you can use it for a lot of stuff too. I mean, I use it when I'm making gnocchi. Rather than put flour on the board, I'll put polenta down on the board so the gnocchi doesn't stick after you've rolled it out and just before you cook it. Same can be said for doing a pizza dough. You can just throw a bit on your pizza stone and it'll stop the pizza dough from sticking.
Okay.
I mean, you can crumb fish with it, like as is. So yeah, it's quite versatile. But proper polenta done sort of non home style way is a 45-minute hour process of standing there stirring, and while that process is correct, I kind of there are a few issues with it by cooking on a stovetop. You're evaporating liquid, so it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker, which once you get a perfect consistency, you don't want it to get any thicker. So I kind of figure, well, why don't we just, it still needs to cook, and the grain still needs to, the corn still needs to plump. Why not use our steam oven to do it? So that's what we've done.
Great. And I'm looking forward to watching the video now that I know it's there.
Yes.
But I imagine it's like the risotto, and for years we'd stood over the stove stirring it.
We should probably do a tutorial on that too, actually. We've got a few recipes there, but maybe a reason, explaining why we choose to do it like that. Because, I mean, in the first one we did, I outlined within the video that it is by no stretch a traditional methodology of doing a risotto, which is adding a little bit of stock and stirring and doing all that. But it still started off and finished traditionally. It's just the middle section of the cooking, and that's... We've talked about it before previously, where you're using your steam oven as a bit of a tool rather than cooking. I mean, although it's cooking, it's almost used like a kitchen appliance, a benchtop appliance, if you like.
I think it's one of the first recipes you did for cooking was steam, and I think in those days, Ruby the Wonder Cat was walking behind you.
Probably.
And the tip of her tail is in that video.
Yeah.
It's a sort of a Where's Wally moment, but she used to like hanging around you when you were cooking. And the trail for looking for a Logitech C920 deepens as you've now found a contact. Oh, C920, yeah. Thanks. You've now found maybe a contact in New Zealand.
Yeah, there's possibilities.
Go New Zealand.
Yeah. There's possibilities that there's one in a store in New Zealand. And the reason that it's in the store is because no one's allowed access to stores over there. There's stage 4, so yeah, the stores aren't open, and what appliance retailers are doing is just delivering essential items, so fridges, washing machines, freezers, microwaves. This is not considered an essential item. Well, it's not.
Well, in Australia it is, because that's how everyone's working from home and attending meetings.
Which is why they're as rare as hen's teeth. But anyway, we'll see how we go. We'll see.
I hope there's no ski masks and the dead of night involved in this, Paul.
No. It's all above board.
Excellent.
All above board.
Nice to hear that.
Yes.
Well, that's another week in Cooking with Steam and from the kitchen. So thanks for that, Paul, and we look forward to
Linda.
Cooking next week. Maybe some bread.
Yeah, I did bread tutorial this week. Just a very basic one as well.
I really haven't listened, have I, to what you've been doing in your day. Sorry about
it. Just a really basic base level bread, and the reason I did that was we had a look at what people were looking at on YouTube. So we had a quick look at what the most sort of downloaded recipe was, and it was a simple bread recipe. So I thought, well, why not just expand on that and maybe show something a little bit different, but not complicated. We're talking instant packet yeast and plain flour and salt and water and just kneading and very simple techniques. So I'll hopefully get that edited and out sooner rather than later.
Oh, great. Well, thank you for that. Have a great weekend, Paul, and everyone out there listening. Stay safe, stay home,
stay cooking.
Well. Stay cooking.
That's it.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this podcast as we explore home cooking in a modern world. We'd love you to subscribe, and for more information, please go to our website, cookingwithsteam.com.